watching Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Another week of OTAs is in the books, and we're going to tell you whose stock went up, and away, and went down. On this edition of the program, we will go over the complete list in just a matter of moments. Before we do, I want to make sure you subscribe to Seahawks Today. Trying to reach our next milestone, 52.5 thousand subscribers on the channel, just over 140 away from reaching that mark. We have everything you need to know when it comes to OTAs here on the channel. We're live twice a week. We're doing Madden Sims. We're bringing you daily news and rumors. We're reacting every time the Seahawks make an addition to their roster. We are your Seahawks offseason headquarters. Subscribe now for free. Never miss a moment. YouTube.com/SeahawksTV. Let's begin with JSN. Jaxon Smith-Njigba is our first OTA winner today, and for good reason. JSN was spectacular so far in the first couple of weeks of OTAs. And as I've been telling you the last several weeks on this program, folks, now is JSN's moment. This is his time to shine. Time to feel this moment. I'm getting all the song references in today's show. There's JSN in practice, courtesy of Corbin Smith of SI All Seahawks, providing us that image there. And I'll say this. Here's a good sign when it comes to JSN. Mike Macdonald is a defensive-minded head coach, right? And so the fact that you get a defensive guy talking about you and your impact, then you're doing something right. And this is what Mike Macdonald had to say about JSN. JSN is a great player. And expecting big things out of him. He had a great offseason, works his tail off. His practice habits are awesome. Moving ability is pretty elite. So I think we have a really cool plan for him. McDonald loved what he saw from JSN there in OTAs this past week. Who is a winner from OTAs so far? We're going to go through a full list here on today's show. Whether it's somebody we're going to talk about or somebody else, way in the comments section, give me a name that comes to mind, a winner from Seahawks OTAs. Tell us in the comments section below. Next up, let's go with the losers list. We begin with Jerome Baker, as we got some very unfortunate news that Jerome Baker will not be involved in Seahawks OTAs as he continues to recover from an injury that he suffered at the end of last year when he was with the Miami Dolphins. And the extent of that injury, folks, it was a season-ending wrist injury, and he failed a physical with the Dolphins this past offseason. And, we heard Mike Macdonald talk about it. We'll show you what he had to say in just a moment. But not having him around, there's no official timeline about his return. And, just not getting the reps in this new defense and everything, I'm very concerned. And a big reason why I'm concerned is it's not even just Jerome Baker. It's the lack of depth at this position that has me concerned beyond that. This is what Mike Macdonald said this week on Jerome Baker. He's working through some things right now. He probably won't see him until training camp. He's going to be fine. But right now, we won't see him out in OTAs. I wouldn't call it a concern. But anytime someone isn't getting all the reps, you got to figure out different ways to get them the reps. So it's mental stuff. It's walkthroughs. We're trying to be creative in the building to make sure he gets all the things he needs to see. He'll be up to speed. He'll be ready to roll. More to come here on Seahawks Today in just a moment. But first, let's tell you about today's sponsor. That's Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. Choose two or more players in any given category. Get the choice of more or less. Simple as that, folks. Whether it's rebounds in basketball, home runs in baseball, goals in hockey, all sorts of different categories to choose from. You can mix and match different sports leagues. I'm looking ahead to the start of the NFL season already. I got our guy DK Metcalf to have more than 1,025.5 receiving yards. Lamar Jackson to have more than 3,600.5 passing yards. If both those hit, that's going to turn from $20 into $60 on Prize Picks. Play along with me. PrizePicks.com/SailItS. Promo code SailItS for a $100 deposit match on your first deposit. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, proud partner of Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. All right, Back to the winners list we go. We find Sam Howell making the winners list, the new Seahawks quarterback from the Washington Commanders. And what we've seen from Howell over this last couple of weeks is making significant progress. He is taking steps in the right direction going forward from here. Sam Howell, as you can see, at practice, wearing the throwback, the number 6. Everybody keeps saying he looks like Baker Mayfield out there, too, by the way. Mike McDonald spoke glowingly of Sam Howell and his development in the Seahawks offense so far, saying, I think Sam has improved every time we've come out here, and it's really exciting. Throwing the ball really well today. He made some really good decisions and situational work. That was exciting to see with only going over it for one day, so football intelligence is high. Obviously, his ability is what it needs to be. He's right there, and I think he mirrors where we're at as a team right now. So we're excited for Sam. So kind of a good measuring mark for the rest of the team, if you will, according to Mike McDonald there. Another guy on the losers list is Anthony Bradford. We told you last week how Anthony Bradford was not involved in OTAs as he is hurt and losing time at the moment competing for that tough right guard battle that is going on. You bring in Christian Haynes, the rookie from UConn, your third-round selection. But then a bit of a surprise. The veteran McClendon Curtis, who's gotten the majority of the reps so far. Nobody's expecting him to win the starting job, but Curtis has surprised some folks and stood out in the last couple of weeks. Corbin Smith of SI Seahawks had this to say about Curtis. Seattle is early in the process of finding the best starting 5 for now. With his ability to play multiple positions benefiting him, Curtis has settled in at right guard next to veteran George Fant in place of an injured Anthony Bradford, who remains out with an ankle sprain. So who knows when Anthony Bradford does get back? Is he going to be third on the depth chart, the right guard spot? Huge opportunity for McClendon Curtis and Christian Haynes here for that starting right job position. More to come in just a moment, but first, who's a loser from Seahawks OTAs so far? I've given you 2, Jerome Baker as well as Anthony Bradford. What do you guys think? Weigh in the comment section. Give me a loser from OTAs to this point. Back to the winners list. Who do you love? You give Love a bad name. Well, Julian Love's not giving Love a bad name. I can tell you that right now. In fact, there is a lot to love about Julian Love. The 2023 Pro Bowler has impressed. And here's a look at him at a practice this week, supporting AWS, powered by Amazon there, and Amazon Web Services. I've never used Amazon Web Services, but shout out to him for looking good. You feel good, you play good, you look good, right? Well, Julian Love, I think, is looking at being the leader of this safety room, the guy that's back, the one guy back with no Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs, not only coming off a spectacular season, but taking on that leadership role and impressing, already picking up this Mike McDonald defense. Here's what Mike McDonald had to say on Julian Love. On the field, he has elite poise, and that's something that we're chasing. If something doesn't go our way, let's keep our poise and let's play the next play. The game is slow to him, so to be able to communicate at a high level, I think shows what it should feel like when he's out there. We have several guys that are like that, but J. Love in particular is a guy that will be able to move around and change the different spots. He'll be a guy we can move around and utilize in a pretty sweet way. So he could start at safety. You could see him at some nickel potentially. There's a lot of flexibility there with Julian Love on that front. Another name, Darrell Taylor. And the talk around the Seahawks community over the last several days. I'm going to show you one example from our guy Seaside Joe from Substack, who does a great job talking about the Seahawks. I've continued to promote this guy a lot. If you haven't heard about Seaside Joe, you need to check him out. We'll show you what he had to say in just a moment. But the rumblings in regards to Darrell Taylor, his future is in question. And his name has come up as a potential post-June 1 cut candidate. And then even if he does stick around with the development of Boye Mafe and Derek Hall and the return of Uchenna Nwosu, Darrell Taylor seems to be the odd man out of the equation. We know he's a very good pass rusher, but he doesn't really do everything else that well. Seaside Joe had this to say about Darrell Taylor. I can't tell you if Darrell Taylor will be good enough to be re-signed by the Seahawks. I can tell you what evidence exists out there, one way or the other. Unless McDonald and his coaching staff find a new Darrell Taylor, something we'd all welcome, I think Taylor is good, maybe not good enough. So, what do you guys think? Is Darrell Taylor going to stick around? Is he going to end up making the 53-man roster? Or is he out and is he a cap casualty for the Seahawks? Let us know. Y for yes, N for no, if Darrell Taylor makes the roster or not. Back to the winners list we go. This is where we find another Seahawks quarterback. Geno Smith makes the list for the second straight week. And the talk about Geno, of what he's done in this Ryan Grubb offense, a new system in place, he's still got it. He still looks very good to this point. He's picking up this offense very well. We heard Geno say that, he's a drop-back quarterback. This is a drop-back system. It plays to his strengths to this point. Here's a photo of Geno out there in practice earlier this week. He's wearing the throwback uniforms as well. And I got to tell you this. I was very surprised to hear this source talk about Geno Smith. One of my favorite coaches in the history of college football, Chris Peterson, who was at Boise State. He did, unfortunately, beat my Oklahoma Sooners in the Fiesta Bowl. I do hold that against him. Went on to the Washington Huskies, did a great job taking them to the college football playoff and everything. I love Coach Pete. Coach Pete was out at Seahawks practice this week, and one of the things that stood out to him was what Geno was doing at OTAs. Listen to this from Coach Pete. The third thing that jumped out to me, and again, it's still kind of underwear Olympics out there. I get it. They don't have pads. They're not really playing, but I thought Geno Smith looked really good. The accuracy and what the ball looks like coming out of his hand and all those type of things, I was like, yeah, geez, I forgot they got Geno. And Geno's a Willie veteran for sure by now with the experience he's got the last couple of years. Last on the winners list, Tyrice Knight, the rookie out of UTEP, who is playing the linebacker position. We heard going to OTAs that he'd primarily be an inside linebacker, but with the veterans coming in, they give him some reps at outside linebacker and just kind of see where things go. And with the injury to Jerome Baker, there's an opportunity for Tyrice Knight here. And so far, what we've seen in these OTA practices is that he's capitalizing on this opportunity that he's been given at OTAs to this point. He did take the podium earlier this week as well, talking about his short time in Seattle already. And he already caught the attention of his head coach, Mike McDonald. Listen to this from McDonald. He's coming along. The mentality is there. The game's fast for him right now, but it's a process. It's his fifth practice with the big boys, and like all the rookies, they have a lot to learn, but he's made some plays. He's seeing some things right now. So there's a foundation there that we're excited about. He's a rookie right now, so he's got to pick it up just like the rest of them. Speaking of rookies, who will be the Seahawks' best rookie this season? Is it going to be Knight? Is it going to be Byron Murphy? Is it going to be Christian Haynes? Somebody else? Let us know in the comments section. Who's the Seahawks' best rookie heading into 2024? Thanks for joining us here on the channel. Continuing OTAs coverage. Got another week of this, folks. Lock us in. Stay up to date. We'll tell you everything that you need to know going on in OTAs. Subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/SeahawksTV. And we'll see you next time.